got yourself a cup of tea in the morning because I'm going to be looking at my buddy who sent me a video. He said, look at my sled push. He said, look at my sled push. Tell me what you think. And I am a movement coach in the GOTA methodology, the GOTA system, the greatest of all time actions. And so we're going to see what this guy is looking like. And I asked him for permission that we could just do this publicly because if there's one piece of equipment, one strength conditioning piece of equipment that I could bring to a remote island for the rest of my life, it would be a sled. It would. I said it. It would be a sled. I can do rope pulls. I can do sled push. I can do sled pulls with it. I could probably make a car out of it. Sled is a extremely versatile device that you can really load up heavy, and you can get some crazy strength gains. You can get some crazy conditioning workouts with it. And the best part about it is that you're not loading your body. It's outside of the body, so you get to be able to moving weight. We love moving weight and go to not lifting weight from the ground, but moving weight, and really kind of reinforcing that locomotive forward gear with the sled. Just because it is a sled, though, doesn't mean that you're going to be doing it right. So we have this opportunity this morning to look at my buddy who sent me a message on Instagram saying, hey, can you look at my sled push and tell me what you think? So I'm going to break this down live for y'all, and we're going to just deep dive the sled. Here we go. Okay, first things first, the thing that comes out to me is that this guy's got a pretty wide stance. When we're doing a sled push, we want to be in a narrow stance, but I can already see that his setup, there he goes, a little bit more narrow. But this is a telltale sign when somebody comes to the workout, comes to the piece of equipment already in this wider stance. So you know that in the GOTA movement system, we want to own columns. So narrow column base, because that's how we walk, that's how we run. The other thing that we're looking at is like, what's going on with this left ankle? If we kind of just scrub it, we can see the left ankle's having some trouble. And then when we go to plant right there, inside ankle bone low. OMG. So before we even started the movement, we're already looking at inside ankle bone low, heel in the ground. And then I see inside ankle bone low without any weights or anything. And then I'm looking over here and I'm like, whoa, Papi Chulo's got 4 plates over there. Papi Chulo's got 4 plates over there on this Prowler sled. So, man, he's got a heavyweight setup, and he's already inside ankle bone low. But that's okay. Let's see how it moves. Maybe he's in a dynamic, in a loaded fashion. Maybe he can pull those puppies up. Pull them shits up, bro. Okay, so we get set up, narrow base column. And this is our first initial drive. So nice. We got a bow set over here on the right side so far. It's a little collapsy. But let's see how he's moving energy. Boom. And there's our finish. So we're missing the corner on the right side, meaning we go bow and then just straight linear with this leg here. We want to see that full rotation in, and on the left side as well. We get little bow, no corner, just straight leg. There's our trying to corner on the right side. But notice what happens with his hips right here. So we're looking at the hips, and those puppies are dumping forward right here as he's bleeding into that corner. So we know he's losing power as he's trying to corner. It's not looking clean. We continue the movement, trying to corner on the right side, no corner on the left. Trying to spin on the right, no corner. There's a little corner on the left. But I mean, it's hard to make that movement when you're planting like this, inside ankle bone low, and not really setting a true bow set right there. The other thing that we want to see on the sled push is that every single time we take a step, we want that head to be landing over that same side column. But notice how his spine is locked straight. His arms are just pushing this massive amount of weight, so he just stays straight. There's a little side bend to the left, but none to the right. So we see a lot of stuff coming on this left side. The left hip's not wanting to corner, and he not wanting to get over to his right side. And we just keep playing this, and you can just watch in real time the discrepancy between the right and the left. And he's trying to spiral this so hard, but it's just becoming a very big chore to push this much weight. This is an extremely sloppy sled push. And this is what happens when we prioritize moving heavy amounts of weight versus moving really well. We want to own our movement patterns and not go inside ankle bone low. We want to be able to own that. Number one, in just our standing and walking postures. And then when you go to a sled, then you only put as much weight as you can handle. But we can see how this right here, this left side, is just not able to set a nice bow. We can see that the hips are forward. I would want to take those hips and really pull them back so much more, because we should be adopting kind of an L shape with our body. But right now, he just got just a straight drive up. So I know that he's feeling this in the quads. I know he's feeling this not so much in the glutes, in the back like we want. And so this brings up another conversation of strength gains and strength. When we prioritize being strong, and that becomes the focus, when we prioritize strength, then our movement can flow out the window. You're just throwing weights on, doing heavier things, bigger, faster, stronger, until something happens. We got to prioritize the movement. That just is what it is. You prioritize the movement, and that's going to give you a threshold for where you should be working. And working in a way that is safe, working in a way that is also going to be feeding your movement patterns, because we don't want to be breaking down our movement patterns at the to gain strength, whatever the strength gain is. And the reason why is that we see that after we come off of the sled, we come off the sled and then immediately go into the front chain. So immediately front chain dominant. So after a sled was pretty much a back chain movement, you should be back chain, especially if you're doing that much weight. And then we come around, we take a step. There's our big bow leg right there. And then here's our left reverse movement that we got going on with that big heel in. Okay. Big heel in, reverse movement on the left and on the right. And so we can see the waddle walk that comes after this sled that we're getting. And so it's like, well, man, if we're having that in the walk and everything like that, we're having trouble just walking, setting a bow from out to in, really clean on an inside ankle bone high structure, just super back chain, just be real clean with it. Why are we pushing 200 kilos plus in this fashion? Boom, 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 just front chain, inside ankle bone low, just going super linear with it. We need to prioritize movement. So I got a video on the next thing. Do that swipe, swipe, whatever. I'm going to put a sled push technique demo and cover all of those things. Inside ankle bone high, bows, corners, staying in the back chain, and loading head in the column. When we're talking about a sled push, man, put a 45-pound plate on that and push that for 100 yards. I promise you're going to get really strong. This 10 to 20 yards of a lot of weight, man, it's not doing you any good, especially when your movement is breaking down like that. Unless you're looking for some kind of crazy mental test and you know that your feet are going to like really get wrecked from that. Like, why are we doing that, and why we shouldn't be doing that? Put no weight on the sled and see how far you can go. Put a 45-pound on it, do 200 yards. That is going to blow you up in the best way. Glutes, hamstrings. It's going to reinforce inside ankle bone high. It's going to be light enough weight that you can still side bend and articulate your spine and make sure that you're doing bows and corners. But this amount of weight and this amount of strength, this is not the direction that we want to go for with a sled push. Okay, so prioritize movement over strength. Prioritize movement over muscles. If you move right, muscles will come. And then if you move right, then you'll be able to be strong for a long time. You won't break down. And then you can actually do the things that you love. All right, this is Coach Bam. Check out the technique video. Thanks for hanging out with me and my cup of tea in the morning talking about sled pushing. And also, if you haven't been on a sled, get on a sled. Why aren't you doing a sled push? Get on a sled push. You can do as much sled push as you want. Have a nice one. This is Coach Bam. I'm out.
All right, y'all, today we're talking about the sled push. The sled push is a fantastic exercise that you can do all day, every day. You can't do enough sled push, but we want to make sure that we're doing this right and we're feeding the right movement patterns. So let's talk about it a little bit. Obviously, we're going to get our hands here. You can have bent arms or straight arms. What we care about is the foot placements. Narrow column base, we're not going wide. Feet are straight on the balls of our feet. Heels are up. So, okay, so we're not going to drive with our feet, with our heels. We're going to be on the balls of our feet. Get your hips back, really aggressive back chain position. We're looking for somewhere around like an L shape, getting my chest parallel to the ground. I'll get my chest parallel to the ground, balls of the feet. Go ahead and get in a split stance, and from here we're going to open up to the spirals. So this is linear. We don't want to push like this. I'm going to open up to the spiral, so I'm going to set a bow set with my leading leg, corner leg on the back side. So corner and bow, driving off this one, corner, set a bow, corner, bow and corner. Keep those hips back. We don't want any forward movement up or thrusting. I'm stepping, landing straight, setting a bow, feeling this hip, and then driving through with a corner. Step into a bow, drive through with a corner, and then just continue that. Beautiful. On this back side, you're going to be able to see my head as I go from one column to the other. On the balls of my feet, heels are elevated, get into my back chain, split stance, setting a bow on this side, corner on this back side. Look at how my head is landed over this landing foot. This allows me to drive from this column here, drive, corner, land in this other column. That means my spine is going to be bending a little bit, so we're adding a spine bend, a bow, straight feet for the sled push. Option here, you can go bent arms here to really exaggerate your spine movement. This is the sled push.